Hey everybody, I'd like to welcome you to the webinar. My top 10 essential oils for a natural first aid kit. Your presenter, Jane Howe. A little about essential oils. Essential oils are actually plant oil extract. They go through a process of cold pressing, then they're distilled before they are bottled and put up for sale. Now, essential oils can be used in 3 different ways. You can breathe them, inhale them, which is what you see in aromatherapy. You can wear them topically, which basically means you're rubbing them on your skin. And then lastly, you can ingest them, which, as you probably know, means to swallow them. Now, pure essential oils is kind of a term loosely used. The federal laws allow companies to put pure essential oil on their labels when only requiring 25% of the actual plant extract to be present in the bottle. The other 75% is often tinctures, which are alcohol, and other chemicals that can actually be toxic and sometimes carcinogenic to the body. So not all oils are created equal. Be sure to do your due diligence when you're choosing an oil to use. Therapeutic grade and organic obviously are your best choices. So unlike Western medicine, essential oils detox the body, whereas chemicals that we put in our body as normal Western medicine has a tendency to, or a potential to, create some issue for the liver and kidneys, because that's where everything that we ingest like that is metabolized. Now, there are hundreds and hundreds of oils, each with their own uses and purpose. You'll learn later on what some of those are. I have chosen my top 10 that can be used daily for easy use. Now, the one thing to remember is you cannot overdose on oils. You can use them as often throughout the day as you need to. Of course, common sense I do recommend. If you're having some kind of unpleasant reaction or you're not feeling good about it, then obviously you should back off and not use as much. The only thing that I've learned actually in my years of doing essential oil is that jasmine essential oil is poisonous when swallowed. Let's start with some of our top 10. Basil essential oil. Basil, obviously you would know it better as that pretty little green herb that we use to make pesto out of. Well, that oil contained within its leaves packs a really good medicinal punch. Some of the things that basil may do, it can help restrict the spreading of viruses. You can add 2 or 3 drops of mouthwash to your liquid soaps. It's also helped to neutralize the brown recluse spider venom. So if you are in an area where the spider lives and you suspect that you may have been bitten by one, immediately put an X with your fingernail on the bite area and rub like 5 to 10 drops of basil oil into that. Obviously, if you feel that you've been bitten by a brown recluse, it's still wise to follow up with your medical care practitioner. Brown recluse spider bites are nothing to monkey with. Basil oil also has muscle relaxant properties, so it'd be useful in charley horses and muscle cramps. If you ever experienced those. Clove essential oil. Clove is good for eye health. Make a large circle of diluted oil around the eyes. Again, avoiding any contact with the eyes at all times. And if you do accidentally get any of the essential oils in your eye, do not flush with water. That'll drive the oil deeper into the eye, and it's not going to feel very good. So if that happens, you take a little extra virgin olive oil or some form of cooking oil that you have handy, and you put that right in the eye to dilute it. Of course, your eyes are going to be a little blurry from the oil, but that will dilute the oil, and prevent any further discomfort or problems with that oil getting in there. Clove is good for blemishes. You can add it to a carrier oil like organic coconut oil or, like we said, extra virgin olive oil, and rub that right onto your problem areas. Again, avoiding contact with eyes and mucous membranes. If ever oil accidentally makes contact with the eyes, remember, dilute with olive oil. Do not rinse with water, as it will drive oil deeper into the eye. I cannot stress that enough. You really need to remember that. So, sorry to be a broken record, but it's really important. Clove is amazing for toothaches. You take a little bit of the oil of clove on a cotton swab, and you put the oil right into the cavity itself and hold it there. And within a few minutes or less, you will have relief in that toothache. You can actually dilute the oil 50-50 with a carrier oil like your coconut oil or olive oil, and you can rub it on the gums around the tooth too to help further numb the area. Clove oil contains a component called eugenol, which actually acts as a local anesthetic. So that's why you get that nice numbing effect. I don't recommend it for use on babies. It's a pretty spicy oil, so it might be too much for their delicate little mouth. Eucalyptus Radiata. Eucalyptus helps support the loosening of phlegm. If you're coming down with a cold or you have allergies or any kind of congestion in the lungs, rub a little of the eucalyptus right into the neck, the chest, and your back, and you can cover that with a nice warm towel, a piece of flannel or something. It helps open the pores and drives it in a little better, and calms your cough. You can use it for sore muscles, and if you want to put some in a diffuser and diffuse it into the air, it works nice for stuffy noses. Lavender Essential Oil. Lavender is great for mishaps in the kitchen. Suppose you accidentally cut yourself with a knife, and I'm not talking a gaping hole, but a little bit of a cut on your finger or whatever. Lavender is good for helping it heal more quickly, but it also helps slow up the bleeding. Obviously, if it's looking like it needs sutures or infected, you need to seek medical attention. Lavender is nice to put in with peppermint too. I combine these two. Put it in some aloe vera gel that you get for sunburns, and put maybe 10 drops of each into your bottle of aloe vera gel. Put it in the fridge so it's nice and cool, and you get a sunburn. Rub that right on your sunburn, and in my experience, within 30 seconds to maybe a minute, the peppermint creates such a nice cooling effect that I no longer was feeling the burn of the sun. And in the morning, I woke up and the area was essentially tanned. Now, I'm Scotch-Irish, so I burn and peel and burn and peel. But I have found the use of that combination very helpful. Lavender also helps to promote hair growth. So if you go through a period where you're losing hair, you're shedding more than normal, add 10 or 15 drops of lavender essential oil into your organic shampoo, and that does help support hair growth. Well, you've been listening to me for a few minutes here, so I thought I'd tell you a little bit about me. I'm Jane Howe. I'm a retired nurse, and I nursed for about 30 years. I'm a Reiki master for over a decade, and an essential oil specialist for just as long. One of the reasons I really like the oils and love them now was I had stage fright so bad that I couldn't sing in public anymore, and that was so important to me. God blessed me with a really nice singing voice, and I started getting these stupid panics and stage fright. So my friend had gotten into the oils, and she encouraged me to try them. So I used a couple of the blends that it was suggested that I can't name right now because they belong to a certain company. But anyways, these two oils that I applied to myself gave me the ability to get back on stage with just normal nerves. I mean, it wasn't that freaking out, I can't breathe, want to run off the stage feeling anymore. It was just a little jitters, that you would get normally. I'm so thankful that I could do that, giving me the ability to sing on stage. Such a blessing. But the biggest blessing of all, and why I love these oils the most, is that it gave me 4 more months with my beautiful mom. They back in 2014, she suffered a massive stroke, and they did everything they could with Western medicine at the hospital, and the neurosurgeon told me that my mother actually was brain dead. So I had promised her that she would be able to come home with me no matter what. So I asked the hospital to put her on hospice and to send her home with me, to me, I should say, and she came home about 12 hours later on a stretcher. And not to make the story very long, but she was paralyzed from her head to her toe. Her tongue was paralyzed. She couldn't swallow. Her right eye was towed out. Basically, I guess in a nutshell, the only thing that were functioning on my mother were her heart and lungs. And that's it. Being a nurse for all those years, I had never seen anybody look as gone without actually having passed as she did. Of course, that was devastating. So I did some prayers and I did some Reiki and I applied the oils that were suggested in my essential oils book for a stroke with bleeding. And geranium and cistus and lavender actually stopped the bleeding in my mother's cerebral artery that we later found cancer had been eaten through. And she woke up the next morning and she ate, she drank, she talked to all of my brothers and sisters, but that's a story for another day. I was able to see a miracle, and I have these oils, in my opinion, to thank for that, and of course above that, God. On with the oils. Lemon essential oil. It's a great facial cleanser. You can put a few drops of essential lemon oil on a cotton ball and clean your oily areas of your skin, your problem areas of the face. If you've been diagnosed by your doctor that you have iron deficiency anemia, lemon actually rubbed all over your belly can help support healthy blood. You can use a carrier oil again if you'd like to make it spread more easily and go further with your organic coconut oil or your extra virgin organic olive oil. Lemon actually causes alkalining. It helps to alkalize, so it's a good digestive support. Maybe you have the occasional indigestion or heartburn. Lemon's good for that. I use it a lot for cooking too. I make a mean chicken French with my with my lemon essential oil. Let me tell you what. Oregano essential oil. It's thought to support the immune system. It is thought to also support a decrease in the inflammation of the body. So if you're prone to having inflammation, joint pain and such, oregano may help you out with that. But I have read that oregano is 5 times the strength of penicillin as an anti-infective, or if you want to, for a more familiar word, call it antibiotic. I'm not classifying it, I'm just saying it has the ability to kill bacteria, 5 times the strength of penicillin. Now, if that isn't cool, I don't know what is. And, of course, you can put it in your spaghetti sauce or anything else you might use oregano for. Patchouli. Not just that 60s hippie cologne. In its pure essential oil form, patchouli helps support vibrant and glowing skin. You can wear it as a perfume, and while you do that, it actually supports a positive mood. If you have a diagnosis of, like the SADS or some bouts of sadness or depression, it might help, elevate your mood for that. It also helps in digestive support. Rub a few drops on your belly for indigestion. And as I said, elevates your mood. Peppermint essential oil. Oh, I love peppermint essential oil for a few things. Peppermint is awesome for the hot, humid days for cooling the body, or even if you have a mild fever. Place a few drops of that in your bath water with a carrier oil. Put a couple drops on the back of your neck, on the bottoms of your feet, and you'd be amazed of the cooling effect that it brings about you. Of course, you've always heard probably that peppermint oil or peppermint are great for an upset belly. Helps maybe soothe your nausea or upset tummy. I have noticed too, diffusing peppermint can create mental concentration and clarity, kind of wakes you up. So, that being said, I wouldn't go diffusing that if you want to go to sleep at bedtime, because it's going to wake you up. So, thyme. Thyme is an awesome respiratory support. Helps to kind of support the opening of the passages of the lung. Helps to loosen some phlegm. It's good for sore throats. There's a thyme tea that I'll actually add some of the thyme essential oils to and sip it as a tea. It helps to kind of calm the soreness in your throat. And it also boosts your immune system. So it's a good oil, go-to oil too, when you're not feeling your best. Wintergreen Essential Oil, that's kind of a classic oil. It does quite a few different things. And wintergreen is it's good for 3 kinds of discomfort. It's good for nerve discomfort, it's good for muscle discomfort, and it's also good for bone discomfort. So awesome stuff for making your homemade muscle rubs and such, pain rubs. I shouldn't say pain rubs, but your own homemade things to create ease for your discomfort. But what else can essential oils do? There are essential oil spinal sessions that help with just about anything you could possibly think of. The holistic idea is that most disease processes, if not all, are in the spinal system, in the spinal cord. They kind of lie dormant there. And when the body becomes run down or is more vulnerable, then these diseases, from herpes to viruses to cancer, can rear their ugly head. I'm not saying it's going to, not going to say that at all. I'm just saying that's a holistic belief that diseases lie dormant in the spine. So these are essential oil spinal sessions. The oils that are used in the series that they're used are made to go into the bloodstream and by the spinal column and stuff to kind of kill off these viruses and microbes and such before they can develop. You can make your own homemade insect repellents. I make natural fly sprays and flea sprays for my horses and my cats, and I feel so good about that each year because putting all those chemicals on our babies, that's crazy. And that's on fur babies. You certainly don't want to put that on your own human babies, right? You can make your own cleaning products, which is going to provide a much safer, less toxic environment for you and your family, your loved ones. You can make your own homemade beauty products, and you're not adding on all those chemicals and toxins. You can feel good about being beautiful and not hurting your body in doing so. In fact, you're helping your body. Usually, you'll find an essential oil can do anything Western medicines can do, but they naturally detox the body and don't have any added toxicity to your well-being. Essential oils in the kitchen we talked a little bit about here and there. You can use them for frostings and glazes, like lemon frosting, nice lemon glaze. As I told you before, I make a really mean chicken French with my lemon oil. You can use your basil for pesto and create with a little extra virgin olive oil and that basil and some garlic an awesome pesto for your angel hair pasta. You can use it to season food a little or a lot. It's quite potent, so you really don't need a whole lot of the oil. 1 or 2 drops in like a 5-quart spaghetti pot does it for me. You can spruce up your drinks. Made this awesome lavender lemonade. It's both refreshing because of the lemonade, but the lavender creates this nice calming effect. So it's kind of a double punch. Awesome stuff. You can enhance your marinades. It just really has this really fragrant and vibrant strength to it. And as mentioned before, you can use it for your first aid for your cuts and your burns, which I didn't tell you about the burns. When I was cooking at my restaurant, I actually grabbed a hold of a metal pan handle that had been leaning against the charbroiler and I didn't see it. Now my hand wasn't wet, but it seared like I had put wet on a fire. Just shh. And I looked down and my hand immediately was blistering, and the excruciating pain that I felt was I couldn't work. I couldn't concentrate. It was like my whole body just trembled in pain. And of course I didn't have my oils with me at work, but I asked my sous chef to take over for a minute, and I ran to my house, which is only a few blocks away, got my essential lavender oil and my essential peppermint oil, put that on my hand immediately, and let me tell you what, no joke, within probably 3 minutes, the burn was gone. I went back, finished cooking the night. By the end of the night, I couldn't even remember having burnt myself, and I'm not exaggerating. The pain was gone. It mildly blistered, but nothing to the point of bleeding or anything like that. And it's just amazing, you know? So I never have a night of cooking without my peppermint and lavender within reach because I tend to burn myself. Other uses for essential oils. When you have a stuffy nose, lavender, peppermint, and eucalyptus put into a diffuser, which diffuses the oils in the mist into the air, supports better breathing. Lavender and peppermint and a few drops in a vegetable capsule support the ease of allergy symptoms. Included in your free ebook, my top 10 essential oils, are a couple of the recipes for using the essential oils for cooking, muscle rubs, and detoxing. So in conclusion, you have in your book, teaches you how to use your basil, clove, Eucalyptus Radiata, lavender, lemon essential oils, oregano, patchouli, peppermint, thyme, and wintergreen. And with these top 10 oils, you can pretty much cover most any mishap you may have in your home and your kids may have. And I think you're going to find it wonderful, and the knowledge that you have that you're not putting anything toxic on your babies, on you, on your husband, your wife, whomever, your pets. You're actually detoxing them, and I think that's wonderful. Here's to the future of having a much more healthy lifestyle. Thank you for coming, and I hope you have a blessed day.